Welcome back. This is season 2 of my Kerbal Space Program LP, and it's been a while. If you watched the last season, we actually stranded a couple of guys on the moon. I haven't been playing for quite a bit since that, but I haven't been recording many videos for YouTube of any kind, and none actually for Kerbal Space Program. So this is kind of a comeback for me. So welcome to the new and beautiful Space Center. I'm just going to check that nothing is in the air here. Well, there shouldn't be because I just created the save. But we're here, and as you can see, I've installed some mods. Not many, and I don't have any like autopilot stuff. I might add the Kerbal engineering thingy so I get some more, some better readouts. But I don't want to do any mech jab and stuff like that. I've been using that a lot, really, lately. But well, I don't think I want to use that here. Of course, if I'm going to do a lot of routine missions off camera, I might just install mech jab so I can, well, basically do that in background while I do something else. But for now, we'll make it without it. So for mods, come on, load. Oh man, yeah, mods. We have the Kethane mod. If you don't know what the Kethane mod is, it basically is a resource that you can mine, and all the planets and all the moons, I think, have some of it. Of course, some of them have more and some of them have less, and of course you have to refine it and do stuff, and you can actually make that into fuel, or you can burn it to generate power, or you can make monopropellant like RCS fuel, or even xenon fuel, I think. And it's actually, it adds another dimension to this, because you actually get an incentive to have both like permanent moon bases, or even a Minmus base is actually quite cool. Because, well, launching again from there is better, or you could like have a refueling station in Minmus orbit and then burn from there and further out. That's possible. Of course, you might want to do a swing back through Kerbin to get more effect, but still, it doesn't matter. We also have some more stuff. I installed RemoteTech, and I think it's just called RemoteTech. That makes it so the different probes, you know, the different kind of probes here, they don't really work as they used to, because they won't have any. You won't have any way to actually remote control them without having like a remote control signal processor. And when you start off, you only have one. Node. And that's your mission control. That's the Space Center. And yeah, when you start shooting up some satellites, you kind of expand and make like a relay network. So what I'm actually aiming for this time is I want to make one network around around Kerbin first, with a bunch of smaller kind of relay things, just so we get constant coverage around Kerbin, so we don't have to be on the correct side of Kerbin. And of course, then we'll have to make some long-range satellites and stuff like that later on. Maybe put a couple of scanning satellites around the moon, because for Kethane you need to do. You can see under here you have the compact survey unit and the medium survey unit, and you also have these antennas from RemoteTech. The dipole one is the easiest one, or the smallest one. And you also have some micro satellites. And I think our first mission today is to make a manned mission and actually get a couple of these in orbit. And these detach by themselves. They have like a fully functional thingamajig, so they can actually like drive around and do all that stuff. They can do some limited burns. They don't have that much delta V, but they have enough to circular. So if we get into an elliptical orbit first with a higher apoapsis and lower periapsis, we can actually just kind of shoot them into correct orbits from there. So that's our mission. So, right, you can use this remote command thingy, but you need 3 people on board to actually do something. So I guess we'll start with the standard command pod, the 3-man thingy. And I think we don't need to have this with us, so let's just put a stack separator on there. We'll need now, we won't actually need anything more than the standard. Let's see here. Let's see, this one, the standard extra large parachute. So you can also see here I have the load thingy here. That's the SubassemblyManager. So the launch vehicle, because the payload is easy, the launch vehicle, I hate having to redo that again and again and again. So what we're going to do is take the remote command, and then there's something we usually always need, and that's power. So we'll add, I think, this one. Yeah, we'll add some power to that one, and I'm guessing we could probably just do a couple of those RTGs on this one, because we don't need much. Where are those? I mean, playing with a lot of mods, so I can't really find anything right now. We'll actually just put them on here. So give me a couple of those. Ah, looks good. Well, actually it looks horrible, but it'll have to do for now. And yeah, we'll just do a big tank, and let's see, the poodle under there. This is our you know, top stage. This is the stage we're going to do the D-orbit burn, and this is the stage we're going to kind of adjust into a good orbit for deploying the satellites. Oops. Yeah, I just got an SMS. Never mind. So, of course, we need an ascent stage first. So, like this, and like this, I guess. And I usually do like a big asparagus staging thingy. No, I don't want that in the same stage. I could do a small stack, or a hybrid stack. Let's see, Kerbin mini sat boot strap. That's what we're going to call it, because this is just going to deploy a couple of miniature satellites, just so we get something. We will of course make custom ones later on when we need to do more advanced stuff, but honestly, when I'm just going to push some small satellites into orbit, these are so efficient. So right, well, we'll need a mainsail, and we'll need you know what, I'm guessing actually that I could do like so. We'll just turn off symmetry for now, and we'll just add 2 liquid fuel boosters here. These are bigger tanks, yeah. Oh, come on, yeah, that sounds good. And we'll add the non-gimbling engines, because we do have gimbling in the in the middle one, so we don't need it on these ones. A bit low still, or high, I mean. This seems good. And we'll put one of the small tanks on top there too, just to get a bit more fuel. And of course, this thing is going to push us into orbit, but this is just a small booster. So let's just add, so we have 4 of these, and Yeah. So we need to separate these. We want this, all five engines firing at once, and then we want this one and the back one too. Let's see, is this, which of them, which is which here? This one we want. Oh, stop. All right, this one we want to separate first, and is it this one? We want these two to separate first. And what we'll do is we'll take, and of course I guess it's, most of you actually know about the asparagus staging trick, but it is actually quite powerful. So we'll add this, and then just get one more of these, and this actually empties out these tanks first, and then we'll release the other two, so they'll feed back into the middle tank. That means that the middle tank will burn longest, and these will separate earlier on. Let's see here. Can we get some struts? Always need some struts, and if you don't have enough stability, you need more struts. One of the good things with our asparagus staging is that it actually releases them symmetrically, and it doesn't release both this one and this one at the same time, so the struts actually break off. So you have less chance of actually, well, crashing with your own boosters. Is this actually, yeah, it seems straight. And I'll add a strut from here and up here, and then I'll add one more from here and up here, just so we can get it to stay kind of stable. Right, parachute, that should help us get back down. We'll probably, just for good measure, so we know that we can contact the guys, we need some communication stuff. So this, oh, we only need one of these. Then I was thinking we could just shoot up 4 of them. I think that should be enough, or I could just go all out. We'll probably not have fuel enough to really change into a higher orbit or something, and then kind of deploy more of them. So I think we'll just start off with 4 of them. That should be more than enough. And just to be safe, we'll move that away from the engines. We don't actually fire these too early. Yeah, it should be good, I think. Is there anything more I need? Okay, I have the payloads, and we have everything here. I probably need some of these, I guess, just to make this a bit more stable. And you want these as far back as possible, just because they have more effect and they're more stable at that point. Yeah, I think that's a good start for now. So let me just save this. Now the sub-assembly thingy, it's this part I want to save. This thing, it's easy. This thing is a bit more trouble to just make, so I'll do this. I'll save it. I don't have any categories. I'll have to fix that later. I think I deleted something I shouldn't have. Never mind. I'll deal with that later. So let's see. Who do we have? These guys. Oh man. All right. So we have everything, I think. Oh, we'll see if this goes horribly bad. Well, then maybe we'll learn something. This is the flight computer. I'm not going to use that now. Oh, I forgot something. No, we'll try it anyway. Just fire up. Yeah. I don't like doing it that way. That seems kind of weird. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. We'll just fire up and oh, a bit too much there. We don't want to overheat the engine. That's 2 of them. Like that. And now we're at full tank. We're at 150 meters a second and at 5,000 meters. We're going to do a slight gravity turn now. Just start off easily, just to start building up some horizontal velocity here, and that's important. Right, 10,000. Let's go down to around 60 degrees, I think. Oh. It's a bit finicky. But it handles well, this thing, actually. Surprisingly well. And hopefully this is enough to at least get us into low orbit. We don't want to go too high. Let's see here, what's our status? We're at... oh man, I gotta get rid of that. Oh right, that's actually quite good. And we're burning towards prograde, so hopefully I'll get this thing like this now. Oh, it's shaking. That's not good. Oh, that's rough. Right, because this thing should be able to burn for quite a while. And we just need to push this to about 75. We're out of contact, it says. Let's deploy the antenna. And you can see we have there, and we don't have anything. We don't have any command stations or anything. So, let's just fire up the engine at full speed here. And again, I could have like made a bigger asparagus staging thingy there and used 5 of the big tanks and 5 of the big engines, and we would probably be in orbit by now, but I don't want to use more than I have to. So let's see here. Alright, cool. And we'll make a maneuver here and we'll burn hard. Oh, that's a lot of delta V. Let's see, that's too hard. We just want, yeah, that's probably good. That's probably good. So now this is kind of cool. I can actually use the flight computer for this and just keep it pegged on the maneuver. I kind of like that. It's not an autopilot, but you can actually tell it to travel for a certain time, and you can also kind of offset that. And this is part of the RemoteTech thingy. That's actually for, oh, we need to burn. We need to burn hard. And I'm actually not sure if we're going to get in a proper orbit, but if we don't, that's actually okay, because the important thing is we get high enough to kind of shoot off some of the satellites, so it wouldn't be a total failure, but it's not optimal, of course, if you don't get it. But I think we should have just about the required delta V here. I want to keep some of it, just in case, because I do want to deorbit this thing. Having to run around with like a big rescue vehicle just to get this thing back, it wouldn't be fun. So while we're burning, you can actually see here, this is us. This is mission control. That's actually down at the space center, and we yeah, down there, and we now have 150 kilometers in path length. We don't have a delay yet, but when you get out to the moon, you get some delay. When you get out to other planets, you get a significant delay, and you also need like a much more powerful antenna. Let's see, this looks fine actually. I think we made a pretty decent thingy here. Alright, so yeah, as I was saying, you get a pretty big delay, and that's actually when this thing is very nice, because you can then set up maneuvers for something that's remote controlled, where you don't have a crew, and you can punch it and set lock on the maneuver, and then throttle up to 50% for 5 seconds in 2 minutes. And it will actually send that command, and it will count it down, so even though you have like 30-second delay, it will hit the correct timing. No, it's not. Oh, right. Actually, we'll just stop there. I think our... Oh, it's still low. Let's burn some more. We're getting a pretty high bapsis, but we need... Okay, let's... We actually ended up quite late in this thing, so we'll just burn a bit harder just to get the periapsis up a bit more, because then we'll probably end up back into the atmosphere for just a little while, but that's fine. That's fine. Let's just do this. This is really not efficient, but we have loads of fuel left, much more than I thought, so that's fine. So let's see. Our APO is now... We can remove this thing, we don't need it, it's just confusing. We are now at our lowest point. We will break some, I guess, so let's just push up our speed a little, and we should probably put our thingies here up at around 500. That's a good circle, because we have 4 of them, and we want a pretty even distribution between them, and we want... Oh. See, we are past our periapsis. We are actually going back up. Of course, we're still in very thin atmosphere, but we shouldn't break too much now. Okay, let's burn a little bit more. Let's see, do we have... Yeah, we have fuel. Thing is, I want to end up in 500 by 100 here, and then I can easily get back down when I need to. Let's see, this is not much, is it? A bit too much, actually. Let's see, that's 100 and 9 and still 9. Let's see, 100. Alright, so we'll burn at that point. Now, when we release a satellite out there and then burn to get a nice circular fucking words, we get a nice round orbit. Then we actually go back down with our ship down here and release another one, and when we get back up there we burn again, and the other one should have been offset a bit. That's actually what we want here. So the thing is, we actually get up there, we get into our nice orbit, but what we are going to do now is, actually this is out of contact, but we have 3 people and this is operational, so we can now deploy the antenna on this one. You can see it has 8,000 kilometer range. That's nice. I think the moon is at 11, so that's actually almost to the moon. Not quite, but almost. Decouple this one, and now this one is connected to this one, because this is now a local control center. You have the remote command and the remote control. With the remote command and 3 people, you get a new node, basically. So, of course, we'll have to burn the other ship too, because this is a bit low, but we'll still burn at this one first. We'll just, I don't care if the orbits get a bit wonky here, we'll just do this and raise that to no, hey, get back here. This is 508 by let's do a bit much. This is because we're burning early, so it'll get a bit wonky. We can fix that later. That's not the important thing. The important thing right now is to get everything lined up. Alright, so we'll start and we'll warp to our node. like this, and you can see the bootstrapping ship is still there. We're 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 minute 30 seconds coming up now, and then we'll almost forgot that, activate it, extend this thing, and we'll burn hard. Of course, we're burning early. That's fine. That's fine. We don't care. These things are really cool because they actually have quite decent acceleration for. Alright, this is good for their size. Now, this is our first satellite in orbit. This is now on a stable orbit, so we'll rename this as. This will be our Sputnik. Sputnik 1. This will be our low altitude or like smaller relays. Right, let's get back to the bootstrapper. And we're still out of contact because we're on the back side here. Now this thing, we just want to go prograde. We want to burn this up to 100 at least, so we don't get into any trouble. Let's see, burn, burn, burn. It doesn't have to be exact, but because now we're going to warp back, and you can see this one is lagging behind now. We'll go back to the periapsis, and what we're going to do is when we reach peri, we're like hit this. We're releasing. Oh, that's laggy. Okay, kill my rotation, please. Thank you. You don't need to do anything else. We'll release another one. We'll say, oh, did we? Oh, I forgot to activate the antenna. It should be. Oh no, wait. Oh, I'm derping. Whew. Right, like this, this, and this. And we're going prograde. And when we get to our Apo, we're going to circularize this thingy. I'm not going to set up a node every time because I'm basically eyeballing this anyway, so it doesn't really matter at that point. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we should start burning at this point, I think. Go prograde for me, and we'll burn out. Nice. Yeah, that's probably fine. Alright, cool. That's our second one. So this will be Sputnik 2, I guess. Sputnik 2. Or 2, because we're fancy. Now, this is kind of cool, because this is now pathing to this thing. That's kind of cool. But it also has different ones. And this one, you can, if it has any satellite relays and stuff like that, or if you are in something that can actually control it, you can send it flight computer messages through the network here. That is kind of awesome. Is it still in range? No. We'll just have to switch back to this one. And hopefully we'll get the guys back too. That would be nice. But now we're going back to our periapse. Or perikey, I think they call it. Or I know Scott Manley does at least. You know, who comes up with these things? It's a periapsis if it's a general term. It's a perigee or apogee if it's Earth. But if it's Kerbin, it's perikey. And you would probably call it perimoon here. But it's periluna or something on the, you know, real moon. I don't remember the term exactly, but it's something like that. It seems kind of weird. I know people want fancy terms for everything, and I can kind of understand that, but seriously, you have to have a planet-specific thing for the same thing? That's It's kind of weird. Well, never mind. It's I'll just call it the apple and the Perry anyway, so I don't really care. Alright, that's probably good enough. And this is our, let's see here. Oh man, I'm blind. Okay, the Sputnik 3, and we'll have a quick look at our, yeah, we have there, and there, and next time we're going to end up with one there, and that should give us more or less full coverage. No matter where we are in here, we have a path back to the Space Center, and that's important. Alright, KSP crashed. That's fine. We're actually just where we want to be anyway, so it doesn't matter. For some reason, sometimes when I get out of warp, it just crashes. It's probably a mod thing or something, I don't know. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Let's see, extend panels, we have the antenna out, we activate the engine, and we actually rename it right away when we remember it. So this is Sputnik 4. This will be our last probe around here, so this one will be a bit different. Oh, we're actually at the apoapsis, we're not at the Perry. Oh, is it? Oh, right, we haven't actually. It didn't save because we were there when it crashed. So, oh, okay, yeah. I was starting to wonder there. That would be bad. So, at next apoapsis, we will retro burn our rocket there and go back to Kerbin. And of course, I don't care much about getting back to the KC because we can recover as long as we're on the ground. But I don't really care if they care. Let's see. We're going prograde, and we have 4 minutes to apoapsis, and we'll try to burn more or less at the apo. Like, oh, that's actually quite nice. That's 5 seconds away. Let's burn prograde, and so I tried this before, and 100 times 500 or 100 over 500 is good launching orbit for satellites, because you get 4 of them more or less equally aligned here. That means that if the space center is there, then both these should be in contact, and these are in contact with each other because they're all able to see each other, or every one of them is actually able to see 2 other ones. So what I usually do is I have these 4, and then I have a row of other relay satellites that kind of relay out. For example, maybe I'll have 1 there and 1 there that have that are in contact with these, and they each have 1 or each have 2 long-range dishes, the tracking dishes, and I have 2 other ones that go through the moon and are actually kind of far away from the moon and point back to those 2, so I can have like a ring of these closer, and that's my structure at least. But this thing is now in its correct orbit, so we can switch back to our bootstrapping thingy that has now done its job. We want to burn retrograde, and we have some fuel left. So, you know what, this is Space Center, we're not gonna get there anyway. Well, let's just go home. That's the thing here. We don't care if we're past the thingy, we can just decrease this to like this, and we should splash down somewhere around there. And we still have tons of fuel. We could probably have landed close to the KC, but I don't really care. We're not going to use this anymore, so we can just stage and release that, and let's warp back home. Now the physics warp should, let's see, we don't have the flight computer anymore because that's part of the signal processor. That's actually part of the RemoteTech stuff, so let's just, for niceness sake, just adjust this to be this, because it looks much cooler when you get the re-entry effects if it's kind of aligned. Oh, it's, you see, it kind of wants to head over there, and oh, that's kind of cool. You can see the moon. If we had burned right now, we can actually get back to the moon. And I think actually this vehicle might be enough. Maybe with a couple of extra small tanks would be enough to put a satellite around the moon. Because we burned quite a lot there. You see, like 1500 was less than half a tank. That's meters per second, of course. Let's see, get down to around 5,000 and release our drogues. Drogue, I guess it's only one. And we're going not that fast actually. Of course, we let the atmosphere get us down to terminal velocity, and then we release the drogues, because then that actually gives the drogues a lot less stress. So we're decreasing, the speed is decreasing, and we get to around here. I guess now it's not decreasing as fast anymore, so we could probably put the drogue, and yeah, that's a successful mission. That's a very successful mission. Let's just get down here and see. Let's splash down. I'll just time warp when we get past this thing, because now we're safe, and then we can just time warp down. I don't want to time warp just when I release the drogues, the physical time warp, because I've had some problems before where it just kind of, you know, it messes up. See, we're not. These mountains look awfully familiar. Are we? No. Nope. Nope. Alright. So let's just switch to this one. This should be on the back side. And yeah, you can see that. It now contacts this thing, that contacts this thing, that is in contact with this thing. This thing is almost in contact. So let's see what happens if we start coming around here, and now this thing should lose contact, and this thing is closer, so we have contact. And now it's your turn. Oh, yeah. And you can see this works. This thing is now on the complete opposite, more or less. Let's switch to this one just to see. And yeah, that's us. We have our network. Let's just recover this craft, and we're done for today. Let's see. Yep, this is the thingy. We'll recover this. Yes. Now we have our 4 Sputniks in orbit. Yeah, well, it was a good start. So I'll see you guys next time, and don't forget to leave a like if you like this episode, and be sure to comment if you have some suggestions or some constructive criticism. If there's something you want to actually see me do or not see me do, that's fine too. If you have a good mod idea, that's something that's not overpowered, that's not an autopilot or something like that. I like the flight computer, but I do want to do my own burns and all that stuff at least, so that's fine. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.